And welcome to another show. Don't get this twisted. I'm the professor, along with my co-host Tina. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? You're dumb. Stop it.
Oh man, if they only knew. Oh man, whew. I am red. We're going to talk about something that I think everyone's probably going through right now, and it is stress of the holidays. Although we're laughing like it's not stressful. This is a crazy part of the year. Obviously, we've just got past Thanksgiving, which generally is pretty stressful, mostly if you're the person cooking in the house. Mm-hmm. My Thanksgiving was quite simple. I dog sitted and house sitted, so I didn't even eat. And now that I'm on this crazy frickin' diet, I'm really not getting crazy. But this part of the stress, Miss Tina, I think is a little bit bigger, only because obviously going out and shopping and parking and money and all that, this is a really stressful part of the year.
I totally agree with you. For me, I'm normally happy. I don't care what time of the year it is, but December rolls around and I don't know, my whole attitude just changes because of the holidays and the cooking and the wrapping and the gift buying and the, missing my mom because she was the Christmas person. And in my family, my dad's birthday, my mom's birthday, and their anniversary was all in the month of December on top of Christmas and New Year's. So it's expensive too. But now that my mom's gone, it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. But now that she's not here, I miss the Christmas part of things that she used to do because she made it so special. And I believe that the men in my family would like me to be more like her, but I'm holding out because I'm not just not that right. person.
I mean, look, we can't pretend to be something we're not.
Agreed. I can't.
but on the stressful side, yeah. Again, for me, it's a little different now because my family's all out of state. My son's birthday is in December, like literally 3 days before Christmas. So that's crazy. I do have a little, issue with that part, but it is stressful. The parking is just absurd. No matter where you go. We went out this past weekend to just get things like personal shit, like not gifting. And then I remember going, my boy's going to a wedding. So he needed a dress shirt and slacks and blah, blah, blah. Right. So we head over to the Kohl's and we park. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's Christmas time and it's fucking packed like 10, 12 deep in line. And then the parking was just horrendous. And I mean, I don't care because I try not to stress too much. And again, it was more for something.
Right.
Excuse me. So it's not, it wasn't holiday related, but you get stuck in the holiday wash. Mm-hmm. So I just think that part of it is so stressful. And then,
you want to hear, I'm sorry, I cut you off. You want to hear something funny? Mm-hmm. I have a what I've always called a superpower. And my superpower is that I could always find the best parking at any given time. I've gone to the mall on Christmas Eve at around 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I will find a parking spot right up front every single time I go. And I tell my friends, I'm like, don't worry, I'm driving. We'll find a spot. They're like, oh, you should go up here. Cause I go, no, watch, I'll find a spot right up front. It's my superpower. And if you think I'm lying, just shut up. Don't say anything because I don't need your negativity. This is going to work. And I'll be damned if I can't find a parking spot every single time. It's become humorous now. Like I do it just to screw with people because they don't believe me, because who believes that? But if you're my friend and you've been out with me, you know that is my superpower.
That's funny. I mean, that part really doesn't bother me. I'm not crazy about going out. The only thing I will not do is because I worked in retail for 11 years. I'll never go out on Black Friday ever.
Yeah, I get you.
As soon as I stopped working in retail, I haven't done it in 15 years. But
I did it once and froze my ass off, and I was like, that wasn't worth what we saved. I don't think we really saved much.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And people are dicks.
They are.
They just are. People are just dickheads. So, I mean, if you're going to fit, although I can tell you one year I did go. I went with a friend of ours, actually. Yes.
What friend?
The blonde friend.
Oh, my favorite.
Yes. I went with the blonde friend up at a 24-hour Walmart where she lives. Speaking of that, have you talked to her?
No, not at all.
We need to do that.
I know.
Mostly now we really need to do that.
Yeah.
I could use a night of seeing her and just giggling my ass off. That would be really good. Anyway, we went to a Walmart up where she lived, and I went to get a video game for O. And I walked literally, and it was a 24-hour Walmart, but they didn't start the sales until a certain time. Mm-hmm. It was like, I don't know, I forgot what the fuck time it was. It was crazy. It was like 2 a.m. they started. So we went because I was like, oh, well, I have to wait for the sale. I walked up. The video game was in the case. I was like, yeah, I'll take one of these. The guy goes, okay. Literally. So, but the countdown timer was coming. So me and her literally stepped back. And I was like, here, just stand next to me. I go, we're not going to be up there. And it was a mosh pit. If I would have had Slayer playing, it would have looked like a show. These people attacked a stack of DVD players. They just rushed it. It looked like ants attacking another dead animal. Really? It was crazy. Yeah, but it was so fun. So like, yeah, we that was the only time that I remember, and it was a good experience because it was with her, and she was like, we just giggled. And
you know, certain people you could go and do stuff like that with, and you're just going to have fun anyway.
Yeah.
And well, I think she's that kind of person.
She is. And then after that, I think we went and had sex anyway. So it was
even better.
Yeah. It was, it was kind of a double whammy. You know what I mean? Like,
was it now?
Yeah. Be here all next week. But yeah, it was. But I can see how people get stressed out. Could you imagine like having a huge family?
No, I have a huge family. What do you mean?
No, but I mean,
you imagine
having to buy for all of them?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't. I'm lucky. I don't have to do that. My son is spoiled, and all my family's all spread out all over the place. So like Christmas is really just me and him. The only reason there's a tree up in the living room is for me and him.
Yeah. I get you.
Well,
we're not even doing it. So
yeah. And this year my friend will be here. So I feel kind of good. I sent her a picture in North Carolina. I was like, hey,
she's going to be here for Christmas.
Yeah. I don't know if she'll be here Christmas Day or not. I think she might fly back home.
Okay.
But she'll be out here leading up to Christmas. So she'll get to see the tree.
Good.
She sent me a picture of hers. It's like 2 feet tall and it's sitting on a desk or something. So I said, hey, at least I have a real tree up. Like you can feel pretty good about it. But
there's a shortage of trees. Is yours is not okay?
Mine's
Yours
fake.
is fake. Okay.
Nah, mine has the lights built into it too. I don't even have to put lights on it.
That's awesome.
I just put
it
together.
Makes it so easy.
I just put it together and plug it in. It's pretty nice. Like I gotta say, I got it at like Big Lots or something. Like I said, my friend down the street here, she was like, go to Big Lots. They have a tree there. And I was like, all right.
Nice.
So that's what we did. But yeah, the stress of this holiday has to be crazy. Mostly with the money thing. Like it's expensive. Christmas is an expensive thing to do.
And especially now, because everything is through the roof expensive.
Yeah, or out of stock. I mean, yes. Let me tell you, Santa's going to have a hard time this year. Seriously. Seriously, if I had small kids, it would be very difficult right now. Could you imagine you're trying, excuse me,
Old man.
yeah, old man. Yeah, that 4 a.m. shit's killing me. Could you imagine, your child who's tiny wants this one thing and they're either not in stock, in short supply, and people are fist fighting each other in the stores trying to get it.
I think it's okay for kids to not get things. I'm kind of over giving kids everything that they desire because we've created a whole generation
monsters.
Of kids that just don't deserve it.
They're monsters.
Yes. So I'm glad we're going back to not having enough for everybody. Yeah. I think that's a good thing.
Because my son's a monster. Like, I created one. Like, yeah. I mean, thankfully I was a single dad. So there was a lot of things where like one year I was like, you can't get it, dude. I'm sorry. Like,
right.
I can't get it for you. Like, sorry. I just don't have the money. So he came from that a lot. Cause like although I suffered like shit, I had a pair of tennis shoes for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. Like, no bullshit. I had a pair of shoes for 5 years that I wrecked. And I mean, at the end, they were just falling apart on the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah. Because my son needed shoes and he needed clothes for school. And so I suffered to make sure he had what he had.
Yeah, I get that.
And, and it's funny because now that I'm doing okay, I buy whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Like one time I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to buy an iPad. He was like, oh, okay. Well, I bought an iPad.
There you go.
I was like, hey, dude, 5 years with the same fucking tennis shoes? Kick rocks. Like, you don't like it? I don't give a shit. Buy your own.
Yeah.
But I'm, he's not as bad, but yeah, I mean, it can be bad now because we get our kids everything.
Oh yeah, we totally do. And then they got it in every color, it seems like too.
Well, yeah. And then the other thing too is look, Santa has brought a lot.
Yeah.
And when Santa brings everything, when you get to the point where Santa can't, it is a big deal. And then it becomes stressful as well. And then, okay, then let's say you buy all your gifts, right? Then the next level of stress comes. You gotta wrap them all. You gotta find time. You have to
find a place to put them.
Make sure your kids, are sleeping when you're doing all this shit. You're staying up until all hours of the night. You got to work the next day at 6 a.m. There's so much involved in this holiday.
Yeah.
It's hard.
For me, my business goes up probably threefold during the holiday season. So
it's funny. My other hairdresser friend.
There isn't the time to do it. There's not the hours in the day. And I'm a procrastinator. I just don't I'm not a shopper. I'm so not the girl that I wish I was, but I just don't shop. So getting the gumption up to just do that is hard enough. This year though, because of COVID, I think it's going to be easier because not all the family gets together like they used to. So, this year it's just going to be my dad, my brother, my ex who will still be around. I will get him a gift and the niece and nephew. So this year is great. I always make a little something for my friends, but it's going to be so much easier this year because, the expectation isn't set for me to walk in with 25 presents for all the kids and, stuff for the adults and my godfather. It's just the list is endless. Mm-hmm. And it is stressful. It's totally stressful.
I asked my kid if he was going to get me a gift now that he has a job.
What was his answer?
He was like, yeah, I guess. I was like, guess? What do you have to guess for, fool? Drop some of that money you got. Give me something.
Right.
What do you think makes your business go up? Is it just because everyone wants to look pretty for the Christmas holiday?
I think, I think that for women put off things for themselves so that they could get for their kids, their husband, whatever they need, the family, whatever they need to do. And women just put themselves off until the last minute. So at the last minute, everybody's going to be calling, wanting to get in and just have to make it work. But I just believe it's because women have a lot of stuff to do for Christmas. When I was married, my husband, he gave me the money and he said, good luck. There was I bought the gifts. I wrapped the gifts. I made the gifts. He'd throw them in the car for me and we'd take them wherever we needed to go. He was good for that. But he would go to sleep at night and my next door neighbor friend would come over. And in the morning, there'd be a shit ton of wrapped presents. And he goes, wow, you guys did a lot. I'm like, yeah, stayed up till 4:00 this morning to do that so that it's done.
Yeah.
And now I got to go to work,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, because the girl who cuts my hair, I was asking her about things and like doing something with her. I was like, hey, well, let's do this. She's like, yeah, it's the busiest time of year for me. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, everyone wants their hair done. Everyone wants to make sure they look pretty for Christmas. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's procrastinating is one thing too, that is the kiss of death in holiday season that makes the stress level obviously go up, because when you're working long hours, so, you whatever your schedule is, let's just say whatever you do. I work 9 hours, right? With an hour lunch.
Yeah.
So 9 hours of my day is taken away that easy.
Right.
Then what? Then I got to bust my ass home, hopefully change, get back in the car, rush and got to eat, even though you got to stress the fuck out and try to go shopping. So by the time you're home, it takes 40 minutes or 30 minutes. You go, you eat, you get out. Now it's 7:30 or 8:00 before you even start shopping.
Yeah. And you're going to be in traffic. There's going to be mall traffic like crazy.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a very bizarre thing to where the stress level, and you got to wonder why people aren't just pulling their hair out.
Well, they are. They are. You just don't hear about it. I do, because I'm the hairdresser.
Yeah, see, exactly. You probably have more of the therapy session. Everyone gets to tell you that everything's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gotten, the older I get, it seems like the more of a therapist I've really become too, which is kind of insane because I am no one's moral compass and they really should be careful, like asking me for advice.
Well, I mean, look, morally and just asking you for advice, I think is two totally different things. If they're asking you like, yeah, I'm stressed out, should I murder my husband? Yes, morals start coming into that one. But if they're just going, I mean, yeah, I kind of,
yeah, okay.
I kind of hope so. But I definitely think that, yeah, I mean, it's much easier to look at somebody and say, hey, like, what do you think I should do? Or, I'm stressed out, and there's really not much we can tell people, right? I mean, me and you can say whatever we want until we're blue in the face on our podcast today. Blue in the face. At the end of the day, stress is stress, right? You can't get rid of it. You can't just make anxiety and stress go away. I
think for me, I mean, going through everything in life I'm going through right now, and then putting Christmas on top and just life in general it's difficult. I'm not going to lie. It takes work to get up and be happy every day. And I do work very hard every day to wake up to be happy and find something to be grateful for. They say that you should always like start your day with 3 things you're grateful for. And if it's just you woke up and you've got food in your fridge to make yourself breakfast, that's 2 of the 3. So I've always kind of struggled with like lower level depression for 100 years. I've had like issues. So I really do wake up every morning and go, okay, today's not that bad. I have a roof over my, over my head, and there's food in the fridge and my car is running well and nobody died. It's just,
yeah. I mean,
and you really, sometimes you just need to start at that level.
it's funny because when I'm at work, sometimes someone will come up and they'll be like, so how you doing today? And I'll go, upright, breathing, and employed.
There you go. And
now,
sometimes that's just all you got.
And that's all you can deal with. It's funny though, because there's a couple of girls that order from me when they get a call, and like they'll be like, good morning, and I'll be like, morning, and they're like, oh, I'm like, no, morning is good. First of all, generally they only start with an S, and they'll start laughing, and I go, look, it's not a bad morning, but saying good morning to me is like, look, I've been up since 4:00 this morning. I hit the gym at 5. I'm back at my house at 6, and I'm on the road at 7 to be to work by 7:30 to work until 5.
Jesus, you got a schedule before you got a schedule.
Yeah. So, but again, like for the holidays, hopefully I'll be down 40 pounds. So, now my health, I got to say, at a time where you're generally eating a lot more, Thanksgiving's the start of that shit. And then Christmas Day is the worst of that shit. And then New Year's Eve is more food, more food and more alcohol. Right. So,
one would hope.
Yeah. So far for me, it's like, didn't have anything bad on Thanksgiving, and I don't have no plans for Christmas because all my family's gone. So the food thing is going to be great for me. I probably won't put on I'll probably lose weight at Christmas time.
It's funny for Christmas because our whole life we did tamales, rice, beans, stuff like that for Christmas. We had that meal, and then we had the traditional meal with the turkey, the ham, the gravy, the stuffing, the potatoes. So you talk about cooking. I'm in the generation that doesn't have to do too much. Like one of my cousins just brings a dip. Another one will just bring the rolls. My brother normally brings sodas. Like they don't have to do any real cooking. But for some reason, I wasn't a part of that generation. I got kind of bumped up. So it's the ham, the tamales, the stuffing, the gravy. It's like I have a bunch to do. And by the time it rolls around, I'll eat a tamale and some rice and beans, and then I'm good. I don't want anything more because I've already cooked it and prepared, did all the prep work, the buying it and everything. So I tend to do all right. I mean, other times of the year I don't at all, but Christmas is not, for me, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be tacos.
I think you should just come over to my house and eat some of the tamales that I made.
No, that's very true. I got to see I got to see what the boy's doing. I know his mom wants to have him for one of the days. I'm not sure yet.
Well, just tell him to come with you. And if he's with his mom, come by yourself.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It'll be pretty mellow. But yeah, so there's a lot of cooking going on in our house.
and again, we're talking about stress. That's got to be crazy when you have a big ass family. I couldn't even imagine. Like even when my family was here, it was like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was like 8 of us, maybe 9 if my mom showed up at my dad's house.
Wow.
Yeah, she used to come over for the holidays. I lived in a weird house. Like as much as my parents were divorced when I was 8, in my 20s, my mom and dad would have Christmas dinner. My stepmom would invite her over.
See, I see that's how me and my ex are going to be. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be like that. And that's not crazy. That's evolved. That's evolved when you could just be a good, decent person to each other because you once loved each other and you had kids together. Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is weird. I mean, if you're asking me, and to be perfectly honest, and I'm glad it happened, but it's not normal. My friends when I used to tell my friends that, they would be like, you're joking, right? And you're probably right. It's probably evolved more now, but look, we still live in a divorced world where I would say it's probably not the norm.
No, No, and people actually don't like it. Like, they don't like it.
Well, I just think
they don't understand it.
They don't understand it. It's like I said, I don't know any, like my mom would, if you can believe this, my mom at one point would come to pick me up for her weekend and clean my house.
That's cool. I need a mom like that.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, it was very bizarre. She shrunk the curtains one time in my apartment. I mean, my dad's apartment. Oh, literally took the curtains down and put them in the wash and shrunk them. My dad was pissed off.
Yeah, but he should have been happy that.
Yeah, he was happy that the house was clean, except now he had fucking curtains that were 3 inches shorter than they should be.
That's funny. You know, when I go to my ex's house, I was just there the other day. I walked in and I was talking to him, and I went into the fridge and I grabbed a water, and then I went into the cupboard and I grabbed some gum, and then I asked him if he wanted to smoke out with me, and then like all these things. And then I turned around and said, I am so sorry. I just forgot that this is your house now. And I should have asked for the water and asked if I could get into it. He goes, no, just do your thing. And he was okay with that. And
yeah.
It's interesting how that happens.
It is. I will tell you, my own opinion to that is that you probably need to do your best to
separate. I know.
Yeah. And that's just my own opinion. You're going to do whatever you're going to do. And yeah, it's okay to have, like, I have a really good relationship with my ex-wife. It's so good that we don't talk. It's amazing. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I get you.
We just don't. I mean, there's no reason to. If it's not about my kid, I can't tell you what's going on in her life. Matter of fact, I couldn't tell you what's going on in her life for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
It's not my, for one, it's none of my business and none of hers. There's a reason you're divorced.
There's definitely things we don't talk about, but I don't know. I still feel like I still walk into that kitchen that we had custom made for me, and feel like it's my kitchen.
But you got to remember, though, look, I had a lot of shit custom made in my little place, too. We had a brand new staircase. We had all the kitchen redone. We had all brand new appliances.
I get it.
But at the end of the day, you have to cut the umbilical cord.
No, I get that. But and I still house sit for them. So it may be a while before we cut.
Yes, I think you should do your best to stay away what you can and not make your holiday any more stressful than it already is going to be.
You know what, I got to tell you, the divorce part of it, my ex part of it's not the stress. Not the stress. No. That's the funny part of it. Like, he's not the stressful part of it. He called, and he was away last month, I think. And he called me and he said, hey, by the way, I bought our nephew a couple pairs of shoes for Christmas. And I'm going, okay, cool. I don't really know what to say to that, but yeah. You know what the stress for me comes from is finding something that people are going to use. It's or that they're going to like, or that they're going to appreciate, or am I going to be able to see them? When am I going to see them? Is it going to fit when I see them? Like that sort of thing. Or am I going to have enough time to get everybody ready for Christmas? Am I going to be able to get all that crap in my car to take it to wherever we're doing it at? I don't know. That's more my stress. Is my cousin going to be healthy that day? Because my cousin has MS and she's in a wheelchair now, and she was the oldest cousin who I just thought was the most amazing person in the world. She was the oldest on my dad's siblings' kids. And so I stress out more is she going to be okay? How do we keep her comfortable? Do I need to make special space for her? Is everybody goes out and helps her get out of the car and helps bring the stuff in for my aunt and my cousin. So I worry more about that sort of stuff, and will this be the last time we have everybody together? That bothers me.
Well, I think that's, as we get older, is going to be a different kind of stress.
Yeah.
Holiday stress will be that. A guy at my work is flying out to Philadelphia because his uncle's like 98 or something like that.
Wow.
and not in the greatest of health, but not horrible. But like,
Yeah.
look, you're 98. I mean, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
So and that's why he's going out this year, because he wants to make sure to see him before he passes.
That's
so
awesome.
I think we're all at a time like that where we think about the future of Christmas and the future of who is going to be around and who's not. And yes, it's a different time. I mean, like you said, it's different stresses sometimes. There's just a different kind of stress now. There's the normal stress and then other stress on top of that just makes it.
You know what another stress is that I know that I definitely go through, and I know many of my friends go through, is, are they going to get along with everybody that day? I'm an acquired taste, and I've always said that. And I know that I've got close cousins that they're not fans of mine, and it's okay, because I think the feeling's kind of mutual. They're kind of more judgmental and opinionated as to how things are supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And for me, I just don't give a fuck if however it's going to turn out is how it's going to be. And I think my loosey goosey ways about things versus their very structured ways pisses them off. And that, like, even that's a stressor. Like, it's starting to cause a rift in the family where that side of the family is staying over here and we're staying over there. It's I don't know, that part stresses me out, because I don't want to get up and be around somebody that doesn't want to be around me. So that, and I know most of my clients talk about that. Oh, my sister-in-law, and oh, my brother and his wife, and oh, those kids that run around. And, I know that people talk about that a lot. They don't even get along with their family. And all I tell people is, we're put with our family because we have lessons to learn, not because we're supposed to love them.
Well, yes. And at the end of the day, like, it can be stressful because we live in a charged society now where if you're not one way or the other, everyone shuns you. Or so, yeah, I can see where we're doing that. I would call myself more of the black sheep of my family.
Me too.
I got in a couple of arguments at dinners for the holidays because I have a very opinionated view of the world. So it's funny, though, because that view is now really kind of changed a lot over the last 10 years.
You think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Very much so. But still, it's still the same thing. I mean, when you have a large family, see, the thing is, you have a large family, you have a lot of opinions, and most holidays you start drinking.
I need to start doing that.
Shit goes sideways, though, because people get in arguments, right? Like, you say the wrong thing. If you liked the orange guy, or if you didn't like the orange guy, it could turn into something that's just insanity where, the next thing you know, you're throwing potatoes at each other. Oh,
I wish it ended up okay. So see, all the stuff that goes on in my family is like undercover. It's like that passive aggressive bullshit, which I'm not that person. I'm the one that's go, what, you got a problem? What's going on? I do that. I would love a food fight for Christmas as opposed to the passive aggressive crap that I have to deal with. That to me is a good time. Who doesn't like a food fight?
Yeah, I know that that Christmas Day is one of the highest for domestic disputes.
Really?
Yeah. The worst, because I have some friends who work for LAPD. The worst is Super Bowl Sunday. There's nothing worse than that day. Really? There's more domestic violence on that day than any day of the year. But I'm sure that Christmas and New Year's probably are close because, again, you have people that are stressed, family members that don't like each other, and you mix alcohol with them. Bad things are coming.
Yep. There's not too much drinking in our family. Maybe that's the problem. I just need to start blending up something and get everybody twisted and see what happens then.
I mean, just don't
Let's
get it
have
twisted.
a party.
Yeah. I mean, look, that could be a great thing or it could be a bad thing. Like, I think it just matters who your family is.
Well, it wouldn't be passive aggressive anyway. Something's going to happen.
Yeah. There would be no passive aggressiveness there. It's going to be
Bring it
straight up aggressiveness. But
I could deal with that.
Well, yeah. Cause then there's no mask. Right.
Yeah. I'm so tired of being happy to people that like they're related to me and I really don't want to be around them. I'm not good at being fake. You know,
hopefully they don't listen to this show.
I don't give a shit if they do. Maybe they'll get the stick out of their asses and start being good people again.
I just think that I see what you're saying. It's no one wants to wear a mask. No one does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we live in a society where you almost have to. Your family, it's scary. I think sometimes you wear a bigger mask in front of your family than.
Oh, I do. People. I do for sure. I always have. And the funny thing is there really shouldn't have been a need for that. You know, I think I did it more for self-preservation than I did for anything else. But the funny thing is I could tell my grandparents anything. I could tell my uncles anything. I could tell my parents, my brother, anything. My brother actually says, just leave it to the Cliff Notes, Tina. I don't need to know all that much. So it's mostly the women, though. The women of the family are just, I don't know. They're just a lot.
Do you think that that's in most families?
Probably. Because, yeah, I would say. Because women could be bitches. Like they're catty. Men, if men are in a beef with each other, they normally just fight. You know, there's a fight and whoever wins and they pick each other up and it's over. Women carry grudges and they make faces and they have opinions, but they're nobody's brave enough to just freaking say something. Now, I'm a big girl. Like I'm 5'9" and I'm probably probably about a good 7 or 8 inches taller than any woman in my family. So maybe that's why they're passive aggressive with me. I don't know. But
they don't want to get pounded on.
Oh, yeah. And they know I fight like a dude. Actually, a few of them have seen it. So maybe that's why I get the passive aggressive stuff. But I dig a woman that'll say, you know what? You acted like an asshole and I didn't like when you did this. And I'll be like, sorry, I bothered you. I'll try not to do that again. And I could I could fix myself. You know, I could change something. But to hold a grudge against a family member to have or for your family member to have a grudge. I was talking to a friend the other day and he said that when his dad died, his dad had like 3 separate sets of kids with 3 different women. I'm not sure about that, but I know there was multiple ones. Mm-hmm. And so he was raised by just his mother. He wasn't raised by his father, just his mother. And so he referred to his dad by his dad's name. So when the dad passed away, the family called, oh, dad's gone. He paid for everything. And when it came time for I don't know, whatever they put out for saying that he passed away, maybe it was the oh shit, help me out here, Rob. When somebody dies and they put it in the paper, it's obituary. Mm-hmm. They didn't even mention him. And he's the one that paid for everything. And then he saw that there was something else about the tombstone that he was not recognized, or they recognized everybody but him. And I thought to myself, that's just plain being an ass. Like, okay, so he doesn't call his dad. He calls his dad by his real name. He wasn't raised by his father. Right. He was raised by his mother, but he paid for everything and they still want to throw shit in the wind. I don't understand that. It's so petty. And you know what it does? It made him never want to deal with his sisters again. And then he was going this weekend to his sister's restaurant for the first time since his dad died. And he was having some anxiety about, he wouldn't call it anxiety, but it was anxiety. He was stressed out about going to see, he didn't even know if he would eat if he would be able to eat the food that his sister's restaurant made because of how she would act. I thought that's crazy, because even if I hated on my brother, I'd still feed his ass.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, and again, I think that comes with we're the same kind of thing we've been talking about the whole time with stress. Pettiness during Christmas is just as bad, which is what makes people stress out or gives you anxiety. I don't know. It's a very bizarre time of the year where it's magical. I still, it's still magic. I don't know. Like I wrote something the other day, and it's kind of, I said, what is magic but a small time inside your own head? So it is magical still, at least to me. I love to see the little kids, and I love to see how they react to that part of it. Mm-hmm. But the flip side
the Christmas lights and
it's great. Like I said, I was talking to the girl that cut my hair the other day, and she's just, life is stressing her out. And then the holiday on top of it and work, it's just this compounded pressure to continue, and again, life is hard, and I get that. And at this time of the year, you're going through ups and downs. Hopefully that Christmas ends up being decent. But yeah, it's just a stressful time. And, all I can say to everyone out there is, like, do your best to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and try to see things for the best.
And find happy. No matter what the hell you're doing, try to find some happy. I think that's important.
I agree. Well, on that's a perfect segue to telling the people what they need to do.
All right. Well, as always, guys, thank you for listening and subscribing, but please share and continue to listen, and make sure that you have subscribed. You could follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You could listen to us on Spotify, Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook. And we got a lot of countries where people are listening that I'm rather impressed by. So please continue to share, listen, and promote us. Like, if you think that somebody would like to listen to this podcast, by all means, let them know. I'd really appreciate it. And we're getting to the point where we're going to start taking calls and opinions and different things that we're doing. So you could get on Facebook. You could send us a message. Let us know what you want to hear, what you have to say, any questions you have, because we're going to be doing some different types of shows, and we would love to have your input. So please feel free.
Yes. After the first of the year, we're definitely going to not change the format, but definitely spice it up a little bit.
Yes.
And, this is a show about opinions, and, don't get it twisted. This is just a lot of fun for me and her, and please keep listening. It's a fun thing to do.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. That is very true after this stressful show about stress, but happy holidays. And, look, New Year's coming. Let's see if we can't make it a better one.
Absolutely.
And I am the professor for Tina. You guys have a great week. We'll listen to each other in a week. See you later, team.
Have a good one.